Welcome into Top of the Perch for another exhilarating conversation about Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, hosted by me, as always, Nick Burt. Tottenham lose again, 4-2 at Anfield today against Liverpool. Fourth straight league loss. That is the first time that has happened since 2004, so great going, guys. 20 years, and wow. Usually I'd start to ramble on about what happened in the game. I don't even feel like going through the game today. Just more putting thoughts out into the world. This run of form is absolutely horrendous. Honestly, thinking back to, there are a lot of times. This team's given up. There's no passion. There's no aggression. They look like they just don't want to be there. There's no will. And I think back to times this team's choked. They've choked a lot and just shown nothing a lot of times. We're getting close to the lowest of the lows that I've seen. I still put the form under Stellini, which is last year. It's hard to believe, but that was last year. I still put that at 1 because that absolute implosion at Newcastle was just horrendous. I've never seen a team quit so much, so fast. That was just an absolute implosion. I'm putting this at 2 right now. Honestly, this, and it may be recency bias, but this is a implosion that's not explanatory at all. And right at 3, I put after Tottenham blew the game at Stamford Bridge, which handed Leicester the title. That team imploded. Right after that, I put that at 3. I put where we are right now at 2, and I still put that Stellini form, even though that was really only 2 games at 1. This team's quit. It's really unbelievable how bad things have gotten so fast. We knew since the schedule was released last June that this was going to be not a great run. I don't think we expected a 4-0 loss at Newcastle, then a 3-2 loss at home against Arsenal, then the Chelsea game wasn't in there at the time. Of course, that gets rescheduled to a Thursday. We get a 2-0 home loss, or a 2-0 loss at Stamford Bridge in there, and now we get a 4-2 loss at Anfield in there. I don't know. This team just showed so much, positivity at the beginning of the year. They were the last unbeaten team, and it just, since November, this team's imploded. Whether it be injuries, suspensions, just not playing to form, players going out for international break in the middle of January. It's been an absolute implosion of this team. I know I don't know where to go from here, because yes, a lot of this is on the players, but you gotta put some of this on the manager. And a lot of the fans have backed Postecoglou this whole year. We saw a lot of improvement, and then this run has come and it has just imploded anything we had with him. And I'm seeing a lot of people calling for him out, which I personally don't think is the choice right now. I think you got to give him the summer, got to rebuild this squad. But there are serious questions that need to be asked right now. I know he's already talking about a lot of players got to get transferred out this summer, and that is 100% understandable. But at some point, you can only put the same players up for sale so many times And when they don't get offers to be bought, you're stuck with them. I feel like we've been trying to get rid of Ndombele for 5 years straight now. We just keep sending him on loan after loan after loan, and he always ends up back at Hotspur Way in June. Giovanni Lo Celso, I don't know why Postecoglou isn't really giving him a chance. That doesn't make sense to me. But he's another player it feels like we've been trying to get rid of forever. Eric Dyer was one of those. Obviously, he's moved on to Bayern Munich, and now he's in a Champions League semifinal as a starting center back, which is just wild. Højbjerg, I feel like we've been trying to get rid of him for 2 or 3 years, and he's still here. I think this summer might be finally the one to move on, but like even going into next year, let's say, we get the wishes that this squad gets completely gutted and we bring in a whole new squad. That squad isn't going to fire right out of the gate. You got to give that squad time to, conform with each other, figure out each other's moves, all that. So by the time this team gets it figured out, it may be October. And, we may not be in the table where we want to be. And there's going to be a lot of noise because people just don't respect the rebuild, I guess. Every year it feels like we get to a point, especially these past few seasons, where it's just you get a manager change at the end of the year or near the end of the year, and you're just like, I want this season to be done. I'm to that point now. I kind of was at that point last Sunday with the loss at home against Arsenal, because I knew this week was going to be fun. I knew it was the week from hell, and it sure turned out to be that way. I want to be at a point where I enjoy all 38 match weeks and then whatever the cup runs are. And I want to be at the end of the season, like, I want more of this. Like, once whatever it is, when we play at Bramall Lane, the final game of the season, and that final whistle blows, I'm going to be like, whew, I don't have to watch this team until August. I want to be, hey, I want more of this. Let's celebrate. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just so, this team just, it gets you places. But sometimes it's just insane that you've been there. And like, it just sucks that we're here. I knew this run wasn't going to be fun, like I said. Especially when you threw that Chelsea match in there. I know the Man City match got moved down because of FA Cup fixtures. I mean, it's still coming. I mean, that game's in 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. It's in the midweek. I don't know. I sure hope we lose that game, because if we somehow pull something out and just, if we even get a point from that game, that basically hands Arsenal the title. And oh my gosh, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with Arsenal winning the title. So I don't know. So yeah, this became a ramble about this whole season and how it's just, I don't know where to go from here, because this form is just dreadful. If they don't beat Burnley next Saturday, that's going to be a doozy, because that's a game you get 3 points in. And if you even draw, there's going to be a lot of noise. So yeah, Liverpool went up 4-0 in this game. A Salah goal in the 16th, a Robertson goal right before halftime in the 45th, a Gakpo goal in the 50th, and a Harvey Elliott goal in the 59th. Richarlison came on as a sub, scored 10-ish minutes into his sub time, and then Son gets one in the 77th, and of course no other goals after that, which gets you a 4-2 scoreline. Let's take a look at these fun stats. Tottenham still controlled the possession of this game, they still had the more passes in this game. They still had the more accurate passes. Yet they did nothing with it. They did nothing with it again. We'll get to the foul thing in a minute because I keep pointing this out. Shots, major discrepancy there. You have 25 for Liverpool and you have a whole 11 for Tottenham. So that's just great. 13 shots on target for Liverpool. A total of 6 for Tottenham. 5 shots in the box, 6 of them out of those 11. 19 in the box for Liverpool and 6 out. The expected goals, kind of what you'd expect from a 4-2 scoreline. Liverpool with a 3.37, Tottenham with a 1.24. Fouls. I get to this every week. I don't know what's happening here. Liverpool, 14 fouls on the day, 1 yellow card. Tottenham, 12 fouls on the day, 4 yellow cards. I don't get it. It happens every week. It's not even worth mentioning anymore. Corners in this game, Liverpool had 8 compared to Tottenham's 3. There's going to be a lot of orange on this player ratings because honestly, some of these performances were dreadful. Son at the top earned 7.5, and really it's only a 7.5 because of the goal that he had, which it truly didn't mean much, but hey, it is what it is. Brendan Johnson, he had an assist in this game, earns a 7.2. I mean, it wasn't awful, but I mean, it also wasn't, the greatest of performances. He still earns a 7.2. I thought it could have been better. It honestly could have been, but, it also could have been much worse. Like a Kulusevski performance where I truly had no idea what he was doing all game. He earns a 6.0. Kind of deserved subbed off in the 61st minute. Another one of those that kind of deserved that sub off in the 61st was Rodrigo Bentancur. I really don't know. His form just since coming back from injury, he hasn't reached that, Conte era form, I guess I'd say, because he hasn't been there. I still hope to one day see it. I don't know if we're going to, though, because as the days passed, I'm convinced we're not going to see it again. Basuma, here's a 6.8. I didn't think it was an awful performance. I think we could have done a little bit better, but I mean, still, it was one of those. It's one of those games where you really don't want to dissect everything that happened. Sarr, he earns a 6.6. Emerson Royale, oh my gosh. I'm just going to leave it at a 4.8 because there's a lot of things I could say about Emerson Royale. And I'm sure he's a great dude, so that's why I'm not going to really say anything. But my gosh. Van de Ven earns a 6.3. It is what it is. Romero earns a 6.6, and you might be wondering why the man of the match was given to him. Honestly, it's because I know he didn't get the rating I think he probably should have. He truly looks like the only one out there that truly cares. So I have to give that to him. He plays like a world champion defender, which he is every single game, even though we are less than that right now. I like seeing the fight out of him. I know his personal score wasn't his best today, but he still earns my man of the match. Porro earns a 6.5. He still has yet to see that run of form that we saw from him middle of the season. And Vicario earns 6.4. There were a few of those goals that he could have got a hand on, but didn't. And here we are now. Madison, he got subbed on the 61st along with Skip and Richarlison. He earns a 6.4. Oliver Skip, they put him in the left back position. He honestly was the best one on the field today somehow, some way. He earns a 7.2. Richarlison earns a 7.8, so he is the highest scoring player of this team today as he had a goal and an assist. And he had a pretty productive performance off the bench. So if you just want to go by scoreline, he would be the man of the match. But I liked what Romero showed more. Lo Celso earns a 6.7. I mean, he got some play time, but I still don't think it's as much as we should see from somebody like him, just given how bad the squad looks right now. And Postecoglou earns a 5 because I've just went through a lot of things. Like I just said, his managing skills these past 4 games has just been dreadful. Absolutely zero tactical changes. I get you want to ride with the high line, but at some point you got to say, hey, we got to change it up. We can't keep losing these games 4-2, 3-0, 4-0, 2-0, all these. We got to change it up at some point. So he earns a 5. It's probably the lowest I've had confidence in him this season, and it's because, honestly, this dreadful run of form. So, yeah, this has been something. 3 games remaining. Woohoo. It is Burnley at home on Saturday. It's then Man City on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, something in there like that. And then Sheffield United to end the season. This has been one of the run-ins of all time, and I'm just hoping it doesn't end with Arsenal winning the title. So anything we can do to prevent that, I am 100% for, because this team is going nowhere. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Top of the Perch. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. We'll be back to recap the Burnley game. Hopefully it's a win. Who knows? Who knows? Because it may turn into a disaster. Who knows? So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.